Most arguments don't start with yelling, they start a few minutes earlier with the wrong words. And sometimes a single word can change the direction of the entire conversation. Here are 5 words that often reduce tension before an argument really gets going. Imagine you catch your teenage niece taking cash from your wallet. You're shocked, you're angry, and you want answers immediately. So you say, "What do you need the money for? Cigarettes? Alcohol? What has gotten into you?" The conversation is already becoming a trial. But what if you started differently? Maybe I'm misunderstanding what I just saw. Can you tell me what happened? The word maybe changes the atmosphere. Instead of defending themselves, people often start explaining. And sometimes that difference is the entire conversation. You're at work, and your boss is still waiting for the financial report you promised hours ago. For the 3rd time this morning, she walks over to your desk and says, "Why is this taking so long? Do I need to get Mike involved?" Maybe she genuinely wants to help, but that's probably not how it sounds. The conversation is already moving toward pressure and defense. Now, imagine she starts differently. "I wonder what's making this difficult. Is there anything you need to get this finished?" The word wonder changes the tone immediately. Instead of sounding like a judgment, it sounds like curiosity. And people usually respond differently to curiosity than they do to criticism. "Your father is talking about politics again. Every visit seems to end up here, and every visit seems to end the same way." After a few minutes, you finally say, "Dad, can we stop talking about this? We're never going to agree." At that point, both of you already know what's coming next. More arguments, more frustration. But imagine saying this instead. "Dad, I don't see it the same way, but I want to understand why this matters so much to you." The word understand changes the conversation. You're no longer trying to win, you're trying to see. And people often become less defensive when they feel that someone is genuinely interested in understanding them. You and your best friend have been looking forward to a concert for months, and at 7:30, you're waiting outside. At 8 p.m., the doors close. Your friend never shows up. No calls, no texts. Convinced that something terrible has happened, you drive to her house, and there she is, having a party. She completely forgot about the concert. Your first reaction might be, "What the F are you doing? How could you forget? You really disappointed me." Now the conversation is heading toward blame and defense. But imagine saying this instead. "I feel so disappointed. I was really looking forward to tonight." The focus has shifted. You're no longer telling your friend what she did wrong. You're telling her what happened to you. And that's often easier to hear. Your 16-year-old son comes home. His muddy shoes end up in the middle of the hallway. His backpack lands on the kitchen floor. Half the refrigerator somehow ends up on the counter, and then he disappears upstairs, leaving the mess behind again. You finally march into his room and say, "All you do is make a mess. I'm so fed up with this." Now he's defending himself, and you're defending your frustration. But imagine saying this instead. "I'm exhausted. I need some help keeping this house presentable. Can you help me with that?" The word need changes the focus. Instead of attacking the other person, you're explaining what would help you. And people often hear that very differently. None of these words are magic, and none of them guarantee that a conversation will go well. But they do something important. They create a little more room. Room for curiosity, room for understanding, room for the other person to stay in the conversation instead of preparing for their defense. Most arguments don't start with yelling, they start much earlier, sometimes with a single word, and sometimes they are changed by one, too.